This is Basement Sports Talk with your hosts, Brennan.
And Richie.
Today, we are going to be analyzing, giving you standings predictions on the AFC North. So, since the Bengals finished last in the division last year, we'll be starting with them. Some notable offseason acquisitions slash losses would be the loss of Tyler Boyd, the loss of Joe Mixon, the signing of Zach Moss, and the bolstering of their O-line.
So, we all know the Bengals, they've had their little, not Cinderella run, but nobody expected them to go that far. I mean, the year before they won, 2-3 games. Burrow's second year. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Burrow's second year brings them to the Super Bowl. I mean, we all know the potential of this team. Obviously, Chiefs struggle with them. They're not great in the division, actually. They struggle with the Browns a lot. I think they struggle with the Steelers a lot. Yeah, that's then they kind of beat up on the Ravens, but it's they're in the toughest division in the league. There's a lot of things changing. Their defense is still solid. It's just a well-coached defense. I think that's the biggest point. They're bringing in younger guys, and it's just always it's always a good defense. Really just depends how Burrow's injuries are going to show up. I mean, there was some beef with Chase and Higgins, kind of. Not really, but the offseason was a little iffy. But this whole season depends on Joe Burrow's health, and simple as that.
So something that kind of headlined the start of their offseason was the whole T. Higgins situation. He requested a trade, got franchise tagged. I don't know if they did anything with his contract from there, but it seems that, at least for the season, T. Higgins is here to stay, which is a good thing for them for the moment, as long as you are able to eventually get him to sign a long-term extension, or you trade him and get a return that you would deem to be valuable. Them addressing the O-line in the offseason is great. They've done it the past couple offseasons since their Super Bowl loss because they couldn't protect Joe Burrow. And if these offseason acquisitions can make them protect Joe Burrow, then that is just about the most important thing that you could have done with the Bengals. And that should lead to, hopefully, some winning.
No, yeah, like you were saying, I mean, the Higgins thing is really the only problem they have. That is a pretty big problem, though. I mean, obviously they got Jamar. I think they don't. I know they don't have Hayden Hurst anymore. I think they tried out Mike Irvin last year. They got Mike Gesicki. I know they did something with the tight end. Mike Gesicki, that's another solid target. But you know what this team comes down to, like we've been saying. It's gonna be Joe Burrow or nothing, and it's gonna always be a dangerous team. I forgot they did pick up Geno Stone in the offseason, which he was a little bit of a breakout player last year for the Ravens. That's a good pickup. But now we're gonna be transitioning over to their schedule talk. We're gonna get a little more in depth than the last video, since this is gonna be specifically based on just the AFC North and not the entire conference.
So, breaking down the schedule for the Bengals, the first game is going to be against the New England Patriots. And something that we project about the Patriots going into this year is that the Patriots are going to be one of the worst offenses in the league. And since the Bengals have a respectable defense, it's reasonable to assume that, especially in this first game of the year, both teams are ready to go, ready to kick off their season. I don't think the Patriots are really going to be able to score on the Bengals, and I feel like the Bengals won't have too much difficulty scoring on the Patriots. So I see this being a game that's not very close. I'm going to say it's going to be about 28-10. Bengals show some offensive promise and some defensive prowess.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Patriots. They're going to have an interesting year. First year without Belichick. Whole new system. Mayo's already said some interesting things that people don't like, but, he's just trying to make a name for himself, trying to get respect for the players and also be assertive. But regardless, I mean, this game should be a blowout. It should be a good bounce back, first game back for Burrow and the Bengals. And Honestly, I could see him dropping 30 plus on this team first game back and kind of just whooping the Patriots here in week 1.
Yeah, completely reasonable. I would agree with that. So next on their schedule, they have the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, as we know, historically, the Bengals have done pretty well against the Chiefs. Last year, the Chiefs were able to beat the Bengals. So this is just kind of off a gut feeling thus far, but I feel like the Chiefs are going to take this game. I feel like it'll be very close. I'm gonna say like it's gonna be 31-28, something like that. I feel like it's gonna be a dogfight, but the Chiefs are just barely gonna edge the Bengals out here.
Yeah, honestly, I think the Bengals are going to start really hot this year. I mean, it's going to be a close game regardless, but I'm going to have the Bengals winning this one. It's at Kansas City, but I really that really doesn't. I just think the Bengals are going to jump out really hot, probably win their first 4 or 5 games. And as you know, I don't want to look too far ahead, but I mean, these next 2 games are easy ones. I can see them starting off really hot, and then you know, we'll talk about it as it goes. But I got a win right now against Kansas City for my week 2.
Third game of the year, we have the Bengals against the Washington Commanders. And for this game, I think the Commanders are probably going to start slow and not really be a great team this year. They, like I said in the NFC video, they could possibly edge out 6-7 wins. But I feel like the Bengals will make pretty quick work of them. I'm going to say it's a pretty miserable game for the Commanders. I say the Bengals score somewhere in the mid-30s, about 35, and the Commanders probably score about 13 points, touchdown, 2 field goals. That's kind of where I feel like that game's going to go.
For me, I think it's gonna be a little closer than people are gonna think. I mean, this is still a good month in advance, and as we get on farther, it's gonna be hard to predict. But these are just preseason predictions. This is more so for honestly us to look back on, and you guys to look back on, or to drop comments on what you just kind of think about the year. This is all just more for fun right now. As we're kind of hoping as we progress, we'll do like a weekly game predictions, but. On to Washington versus Cincinnati. It's going to be a close game, in my opinion. I think this is the first time the Bengals are going to get a little test. Not obviously they're going to get tested in the Chiefs, but I think it's going to be a little scary for the Bengals. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Jaden Daniels could have a good game. But yeah, I think it's going to be close, but I still got the Bengals winning this one. So 3-0.
And for the fourth game of the season, it will be against the Carolina Panthers at Carolina. This is another one of those games where unless Bryce Young comes out blazing and he can't miss a pass and he doesn't get sacked and everything is great, there's no chance the Panthers win this game otherwise. Kind of similar to the Commanders argument that I had. I think this will be another game where the Bengals offense just explodes. It's going to be maybe they'll score 40 this game against Carolina. It should be an easy win for them. And then after this game, I would have them at 3-1 on the year.
Yeah, I'm not really going to say much. I think it's going to be I think these first 4 games for the for the Bengals, besides the Chiefs game, I think they might score 30 plus every game besides that Chiefs game. But yeah, easy win against Carolina right there. 4-0 for me so far with the Bengals.
Fifth week of the season, they face the Baltimore Ravens at Cincinnati. So historically, the Bengals have done pretty well against Baltimore. This game, I'm just gonna say that I think the Ravens are gonna win here. I mean, there's not really much I could say because at this point in the season, there's already probably some major injuries to both teams. But I would say that the Ravens win a dogfight of a game. The combination of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry just goes a little wild. This game would be my prediction.
Yeah, and then this is where I got the crazy start coming to an end. Honestly, if I were to guess, it's probably going to be not a crazy whooping, but I could see a 14-10 10-plus point win for sure for the Ravens here. I could just, it's just going to be one of those days. You're 4-0. Teams are going to figure it out. It's a division rival, first one of the year, and it's the Ravens. So, yeah, this is when they're going to take their first L. And then, and then they're going to have to try to figure more things out.
So week 6, they travel to New Jersey to play the New York Giants. And I see the Giants as potentially being the worst team in the league this year. I don't know if that's going to come into fruition, but that's what I see for them. Bengals are going to be able to score, and the Giants aren't really going to be able to stop it. They have defensive pieces like Brian Burns and Bobby Okereke, but I don't feel like it's going to be enough against this Bengals team.
Yeah, in our last video for the NFC predictions, I think I honestly overhyped the Giants. I was saying I think 6 or 7 wins. At least that's what I might have gone back. I really hope I did, but yeah, this team's going to be awful. It's going to be a spanking. It's going to be a good bounce back for the Bengals, and yeah, it's going to be an easy win. 5-1 for the Bengals.
So next, they will be traveling to Cleveland to face the Browns, and if history has taught us anything, most of the time, when the Browns have been a respectable team, the Browns will beat Cincinnati on the first matchup of the year, and I really don't see this as I kind of see this being a repeat of history. I think the Browns defense will shine against the Bengals. I think JOK is going to have a great game. I think Myles Garrett's going to have a great game, and I think Joe Burrow is going to have trouble with this Browns secondary, and they lose a dogfight. I'm going to say 33-30, which is historically closer than this matchup has been when it's the first time that they meet. But I'm going to say that the Browns win 33-30, so the Bengals lose.
Yeah, I'm pretty much going with the same thing here. Classic 1 o'clock game in Cleveland. You could already kind of picture October 20th. It'll probably be a little rainy out. It's going to be one of those classic games. I'm already cheesing thinking about it. But yeah, I got the Browns winning it. It's going to be a little bumpy path here I got coming up for the Bengals, but yeah, it's a division rival again, at their house. It's always gonna be a dogfight, and yeah, I just got them taking another L here.
Week 8, they play Philadelphia in Cincinnati. Unfortunately, I think this is gonna be another loss for the Bengals. I feel like they're gonna get scored on, and they're not gonna be able to stop the Eagles' defense, and I think the Eagles offense, and I think the Eagles defense is going to be tested against the Cincinnati Bengals offense. But I think that they do good enough to win this game, which would give the Bengals another loss on the year.
So I'm agreeing with Brennan here. They're at home. It's against Philly. I'm just predicting this is where they're going to have that part in their schedule where it's not going to be easy. And yeah, I just got Philly winning this one. Again, these are preseason predictions, so we can't evaluate too much. But yeah, I'm gonna have the Philly beating Cincy, and I got them record at 5-3 right now.
So playing Las Vegas and Cincinnati for Week 9, I think that the Bengals won't have too much trouble with the Raiders. The Raiders' defense is respectable. They have playmakers, obviously, but I feel like the Raiders' offense might not be respectable enough to really put up anything against the Bengals, and I feel like this should be a game where Cincinnati has some room. They win about 28-7. Raiders' offense really struggles. That's my personal prediction.
Yeah, it's the Raiders. They're gonna be an up and down team. They're probably gonna get like 2 sneaky wins against some solid teams this year. I'm not expecting much from them. I'm expecting them to be kind of a fun team. They still have huge playmakers. Like, they got, Devontae Adams, and they got Max Crosby. I mean, those are two top 10, Max Crosby, top 3, top 5, arguably, guys in their position. So, they got playmakers. There'll be plays made, but the Bengals are going to beat them for a record 6-3 so far.
So, traveling to Baltimore for Week 10, they will play against the Ravens. And I feel like this is just going to be one of those random games of the year where it's just going to be the unexpected, and Cincinnati randomly blows out the Bengals 40 to set, or Cincinnati randomly blows out the Ravens 40-17. It's just like one of those games where you're like, wow, what the hell happened there?
I mean, honestly, I think I got the Ravens going 2-0 against the Bengals this year. I don't know what it is. There's just always those years with every division, and people are gonna take it's gonna be a toss up, but I just got a feeling, and I'm going with that feeling. So I got Ravens going 2-0 against the Bengals, which will make them 6-4 right now, and traveling to Los Angeles next.
So traveling to Los Angeles to play the Chargers, I feel like this is going to be a dogfight of a game, to be honest. I feel like the Chargers offense is going to be able to put up points even with their lack of a real receiving core. Despite me saying this, though, I'm going to give Cincinnati the edge here. I feel like they do defeat the Chargers at SoFi. I think it'll be one of those really close games, though. Once again, higher scoring. I will say it's going to be in the ballpark of 33-28.
So I'm actually going to go with the upset here. It's in Los Angeles. I know a lot of people don't know what to expect from the Chargers this year. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are gone, but I mean Herbert, he's had to deal with that on and off his whole career. But Herbert is still going to be one of those guys. I mean, he's not going to have the same weapons. He's going to have to find different ways to attack, but I trust him. They're going to win some sneaky games. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're probably going to, probably sit around below 500, but they're still going to win some good games. And this is one of the games I got them winning in a pretty big. I think it'll be a pretty big upset, and 6-5 so far heading into the bye week.
So week 12, they will have their bye week, so they're going to come into week 13 pretty rested against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Cincinnati. I'm going to give the Bengals this game. It's one of those division games where I feel like it's probably going to be a split, personally. I feel like this first meeting that the Bengals will do pretty well. It's probably going to be a closer game, but I'm feeling a oddly low-scoring game. I feel like it's going to be a 17-10 win for the Bengals facing the Steelers in Cincinnati.
So, honestly, I was thinking the same exact thing. Either this week, week 13, or week 18 when they play the Steelers. And they always have that, 10-13, 10-14 game. It just happens. And I got the Steelers winning this one in week 13. And, pretty much just what you said. It's going to be a defensive game, close game. They really go either way. It's going to come down to one or two plays that win those low-scoring games. And I'm just going to have Pittsburgh in that one.
So, traveling to Dallas to play against the Cowboys, I just see a rough game for the Bengals coming to Dallas. I feel like this is just going to be one of those games where Dallas's offense flourishes and you get 20 points for your fantasy team because for one reason or another, the Cowboys' defense was able to pick off Joe Burrow over and over again. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's just what I see at this time. Looking at the schedule, I think it's just going to be one of those games in the year where you just drop it.
Yeah, honestly, I got the Bengals coming in big bounce back. Right now, I got them at the losing record, which is kind of crazy, but I see this. Whatever. This is my predictions. I got them coming into Dallas though, high scoring game, but I got them winning. Putting up a lot of points on this team. It's going to be in Dallas. It's just going to be one of those classic games, I feel like. Towards the end of the year, they need it, and they're going to show up and win it.
So, week 15 at Tennessee. I feel like this Titans team is going to be one of those teams that just wins sneaky games, but I do not think it's going to be this one. I think the Bengals will kind of return to form, and they will play well offensively and defensively, and they'll win a relatively close one, I would say. And I think they win about 28-20 against the Tennessee Titans.
So, I got the Bengals, maybe not whooping on, but I got them winning against the Titans here. I'm going to have them going on a little run towards the end of the year here. But yeah, I got them beating Tennessee, and now we're on to Week 16.
So week 16, Cleveland will be traveling to Cincinnati to play the Bengals, and I feel like this is just going to be one of those games that my beloved Browns lose. A lot of the time in the year, the second meeting, the Bengals will return to form or win or do something to get this win against Cleveland. And I feel like there's going to be something that happens with the Browns in this game, whether it's offensive struggles or there's a injury on their offense to where they're missing a crucial receiver or somebody in the running game, and they have trouble moving the ball in this game. And as a result, it just leads to a Cincinnati win late in the year.
I mean, I literally exactly everything you said is what I was going to say. They win like the later on in the year games. It's a Thursday night, and Thursday night, or primetime in general, Cleveland, Cincinnati games are just always fire. But I'm going to just guess a good-ass game, close game, and I'm just going to have Cincinnati winning it here.
I think Cincinnati's going to be locked in for Week 17 against Denver in Cincinnati. I feel like this is going to be one of those statement games where it's just a complete blowout. Denver is likely going to be one of the offenses that struggle most this year. And I see Cincinnati blowing out the Broncos about 40-10.
Yeah, I got just an absolute ass whooping for the Bengals here. Just a whooping. Probably a 40-10 game. That's what the score is going to be.
It's going to be 40-10.
Is that what you said?
I said 40-10 right before.
Dude,
yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason I'm so shocked by that is because I had people blowing up my phone and I was looking, not paying attention to what he said, and I genuinely had no idea that maybe that I heard it and that's why I said 40-10. But regardless, that's confirmed. We got to put a bet on that, and we will. Yeah. But all right, on to the final game of the year.
Final game of the year, I had the Bengals dropping their first game against the Steelers. I feel like this is just going to be one of those bounce-back games. It's going to be another dogfight. Really low scoring, though, I feel, at the end of the year here. I'm going to say it is maybe not really low scoring, but I'm going to say it's a 20-13 win for the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same thing. I think the Bengals have, like an end of the year touchdown to kind of flex. Like, depending on how the Steelers end of the year is, I'm not predicting anything too great for the Steelers, but they're gonna still play hard. But I could see the Bengals kind of running it up, getting that last second touchdown, and put them up double digits. And I just think it'll be a good game for the Bengals, and that puts them at 11-6 for them on the year for me. I think it's gonna be a good bounce back year. Depending on how I predict these other teams, I don't fully know, but I do think they're going to be a wild card team, and they're going to have a good bounce back year, and nobody's going to want to play that team in the playoffs, and that's simple as that.
So if my tallying is correct here, which it could absolutely not be, I have the Bengals going 11-6 this year, so a very strong year overall. All right, moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, since they were third place in the division last year. They definitely made some moves. I just realized, I'm sure I knew this a while ago, but I was it's just been confirmed to me that Cordell Patterson has signed with the Steelers. That's something interesting I didn't know about. But besides that, obviously you traded for Justin Fields for a 5th or 6th or whatever that was. You acquired Russell Wilson. You acquired Patrick Queen, which is a huge move. You traded Deontay Johnson for which corner? Which corner did you trade him for? You traded him for a corner. One of the corners on the roster, Deontay Johnson got traded for. So they've been willing to make moves, and this is one of the better defensive units in the whole league, to be honest. I think so much of this team is just going to depend on whether Russell Wilson and Justin Fields can play well. And the corner that they did get for that Deontay Johnson trade was Dante Jackson. So, if that bolsters your defense, then that's a great move.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm a Browns fan. We're both Browns fans, so we know how the Steelers are. I mean, from the outside looking in, everyone knows their coaching is like top tier. As a Browns fan, I think Mike Tomlin's always one of the best coaches in the league, but seems like a lot of fans, it might just be online, and online is completely different than how actual fans feel in real life too. But a lot of fans talk bad on the coaching, and I mean, obviously the offensive coordinator need to get fired, but Mike Tomlin was getting a lot of trash last year. But regardless, their roster, biggest moves obviously Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, the Deontay Johnson trade, Cordell Patterson got picked up. Looking at the PFL rankings, which I know some people, or not PFL, sorry, PFF rankings, they have a top 10 O-line in the PFF. But I don't know some of these. I know like Broderick Jones, I know Herbig, but some of these guys ain't got to be new. They got the weapons, kind of. Pat Freiermuth, George Pickens. We all know it really is going to depend a lot on quarterback play, but I don't think Russell Wilson is nearly as washed as some people make him to be, but I don't think he's great either. Defense, just full of dogs. That's all I really need to say. Just a nasty defense. Never going to want to play them. But, yeah, on to the schedule for the Steelers. Obviously, always going to be tough with the division, but their first game is against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta.
Atlanta Falcons.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
So. They're going to be traveling to Atlanta for this game. These start of the year games, you kind of never really know how they're going to go. Right now, I'm feeling a win for Pittsburgh here, to be honest. I'm going to say 23-13. Win for the Steelers. The defense looks good, and Russell Wilson looks serviceable, assuming he is the starter at this time.
All right, so I see a big win for the Atlanta Hawks here. I honestly do see the Atlanta winning the game, though. I just think it's going to be like that first big game that I'm going to actually be going on the Hawks the whole time. I think it's going to be that first game like the Falcons really – I mean, obviously it's the first game of the whole year, but you know what I mean. Like, Falcons, I think, are going to show out. I think they're going to actually put up a good amount of points on the Steelers, which sounds kind of crazy, but it's first game of the year in Atlanta. I'm thinking like a 28-10 game. I'm seeing kind of a whooping for Atlanta here.
A differing opinion there. That's what you like to see, ladies and gentlemen. So, week 2, they're going to be traveling to Denver to face against the Broncos. Pittsburgh, I am giving you this one. I mean, we could break Denver down when we have to, but most of the time when I see a game against Denver, I look at it as a free win. And I think Pittsburgh, you will show out. Your defense will go ballistic. TJ Watt is going to get 2 fumble recoveries and return them for touchdowns. This is a 33-6 game. Crazy score prediction, but it's 33-6, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah, I mean, that's valid. I'm definitely seeing a whooping for the Steelers. I don't think they're going to put up 33. It's going to still be in Denver. Denver's defense really isn't respectable anymore, but I'm still feeling like a lower game, like 22-10. So I'm feeling for the Steelers.
Next, they are playing Los Angeles at Pittsburgh. I feel like this is one of those random games you drop. The Chargers are offensively capable, or at least project to be offensively capable, despite their receiving core being bad. And I feel like this is just one of those games where you have an injury or something like that early in the year. Maybe Cam Hayward is hurt, something like that, and the Chargers are just able to pull it out. Chargers win about 23-17.
Yeah, I can kind of see the same thing that Brennan's talking about, but The more I'm thinking about it, it's at home, first home game. That Chargers team still trying to figure out that new offense. This might be like the first, maybe not the first, but maybe the only ass whooping for the Chargers. I mean the Steelers. I'm guessing like a 30. I can do like this is like the 33-6 game I'm feeling where Steelers whoop them.
Next game is at Indianapolis against the Colts for Week 4. I feel like this is one of those games where the Steelers nonchalantly win. You know, they win about 28-23. The Colts offense shows some promise with Anthony Richardson at the helm. But the Steelers defense just ends up being too much for the day.
Honestly, I'm feeling the Colts. I think it's gonna be a good game in Indy. I think it's like pretty much the same score Brennan said, like mid to high 20s. I'm gonna go like 20, 28, like 26. Indianapolis.
Next, they will be facing Dallas in Pittsburgh. I'm feeling a Steelers ass whooping. The Steelers get whooped. To be clear, I feel like Dallas just randomly explodes. It's like 40-10, and Pittsburgh is kind of in shambles about this game. That's kind of just how I feel like that goes. I could be wrong. Obviously, this is early predictions, but I just feel like this is one of those games that Pittsburgh drops.
I have an upset dub for the Steelers in Dallas. Well, not in Dallas, but in Pittsburgh. I'm just feeling like a low game, 23-17. Steelers just gritted out, and it's just a good-ass game. And see Pitt coming on top.
Next, Week 6, you travel to Las Vegas to play against the Raiders. I feel like this is one of those games that Pittsburgh wins. Their defense just, I feel like, has a field day this game. You have some bad quarterback play from either Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell on the other end, and you are really able to like capitalize off that. Assuming Russell Wilson is still starting at this point, he has a all right game, or Justin Fields if it's Justin Fields at this point in the year, that's possible too. But I feel like this is a game that you win, and you win it about 28-17.
So, this is where I got a little bit of a weird upset loss now. In Vegas, I think it's going to kind of pretty much be like a reverse score of the last one. Still low scoring, but just like 2-3 big plays from the Raiders, and it just wins them the game. And the Steelers offense can't get going. There's just going to be games like that where that offense I just don't think's going to just get going every time. And, yeah, I got Vegas winning this one in the upset.
Next, Week 7. The New York Jets come to face them at 8:20 p.m. primetime. And I think the Jets win this one. I think it's just one of those games where the Jets play well offensively. They kind of silence the doubters this year. I think the Jets will have a solid year. And this is just going to be one of those games that they win. I think Pittsburgh will play well in this game, but they just narrowly lose. It's high scoring, believe it or not, since the Steelers could not put up points last year. But I feel like regardless of which quarterback you have playing, you should hopefully be more offensively capable than Kenny Pickett was last year. I'm saying the Jets win this game 42-36.
Wow. It's a pretty high-scoring game. I don't know. I'm like actually genuinely torn on this one. Some of the other ones I was kind of torn, but I don't know. I genuinely don't know who to pick here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the first tie of the year and pick a tie between the Jets and the Steelers. I like cannot pick it. Like I just keep going back and forth. It's in Pittsburgh. Made me want to pick Pittsburgh, but I'm going with a tie in Week 7.
There you have it, folks. This is what Basement Sports Talk is all about. So here we are, Week 8. They will now be playing the Giants in Pittsburgh. And you'll get your revenge on the city of New York. It's just going to be the other team. I feel like this is going to be one of those games where it's the Steelers they just have offensively struggle, but they win. They win 13-3. It's going to be one of those real random games of the year. It's boring. Everyone's like, "What the hell happened there?" And the Steelers will win 13-3.
Honestly, it feels like it should just be an easy Steelers W. They're at home. Monday night against the Giants should be a murdering, honestly. It should be a true disgrace of the New York Football Giants. But I don't know why. I'm kind of torn again, but everything's pointing towards the Steelers just whooping them. But my gut's telling me that the Giants might win. I'm torn, but I have to go with just facts here that the Steelers are going to whoop them on Monday night, a few days before Halloween.
You have your bye week. Time to rest up. Week 9. And then Week 10, you travel to Washington to play the Commanders. And you win this game. You win this game pretty convincingly. You win this game 28-10. There's some struggles on Washington's end, and Pittsburgh is able to capitalize and beat the Commanders.
Yeah, this is going to be a good bounce back game for the Steelers. It's at FedEx Field, the best field in the league, and they're just going to dominate. Maybe not dominate. I'm thinking kind of like maybe they put up like 23, maybe they put up 30, but they're going to just beat the Commanders in any way. It could be close, it could be a blowout. They're just going to beat the Commanders this week. Simple as that.
And now, Week 11, you play Baltimore in Pittsburgh, and I think Baltimore narrowly wins this game. I feel like this game will just be a defensive battle. And I feel like the Ravens are going to win 20-16.
So, man, this is going to be a tough game. I think this is going to be like 13-10 Baltimore. It's just going to be one of those classic AFC North games that always happen. There's always like 4 or 5 of them a year. That's going to be one of them. 13-10 Baltimore.
Next, you travel to Cleveland to play the Browns at 8:15 p.m. on a Thursday on Prime Video. And you lose. You lose narrowly, but you lose. Us Cleveland fans get to cheer this week and be happy and experience everything we love beating you guys. And we win 27-16. And the Browns get a W.
So I have a differing opinion. I don't want to have this opinion, but I don't know. Thursday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat the Browns. It'll be a sad day for me, but I don't know. I'm just feeling a rough game for the Browns here. Just all in all, I don't know the last time we swept them in the regular season, but did it happen the year we went to the playoffs and beat them? No, there's no way we beat them 3 times in a year. But it doesn't happen very often. I don't think it's happened recently. And I just think it's going to be the game the Browns lose and that the Steelers win. Simple as that. It'll be a good dub for the Steelers, and now they're going to be on to Cincinnati in Week 13.
All right, Richie, I'll get to you later. But as of right now, we have the Steelers facing the Bengals in Cincinnati. I don't remember what I said earlier in the year. I feel like, okay, yeah, I said that the Bengals would win this game. So, yeah, I guess I have to give the Steelers a loss here. Yeah, basically my similar analysis that I had for the Bengals season. I feel like the Bengals are rolling by this time, and they just beat the Steelers.
So as I'm looking more into the schedule, during this stretch from week 11 to week 14, they play Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincy, Cleveland. And my opinion, the Steelers just don't go 1-3 during that stretch, and I think they win this game too. I think both of these games between this last week and this week, I think they're gonna be close-ish, but I think the Steelers are just gonna play better and they're just gonna win these games. And yeah, so on to week 14.
Week 14, the Cleveland Browns travel to Pittsburgh to play against the Steelers. And Richie, I don't know why you had the Browns losing that last game, because very rarely do the Browns come to Pittsburgh and win a game. Last time they did was in the playoffs against the Steelers, and that was a real odd thing that happened there. Traditionally, the Browns lose in Pittsburgh, and I feel like that is going to be the case here. The Steelers they win pretty convincingly. The Steelers win 23-7. It's probably the worst Browns performance of the year, and you're just like, what the hell happened?
So I completely disagree, and I'm not going to go too much into why for the Brown side, but for the Steelers side, I got them. Well, we just have different opinions for when we think they're going to win and lose. But regardless, I got the Steelers losing this game. Doesn't happen often, like you've been saying, but I think this is just you've won back-to-back against, division opponents. I just don't think you win 3 in a row. Simple as that. And it's going to be a good dub for Cleveland. I think it's just a hard-nosed game as always, but I think Cleveland wins convincingly, and yeah, it's just a tough loss for the Steelers, but good win for Cleveland.
Next week, 15, you travel to Philadelphia to play the Eagles, and you lose. The Eagles have a strong offensive and defensive game, and the Steelers' offense struggles. Philadelphia wins 28-21, despite the Pittsburgh offense struggling.
So, I don't know why, but I feel like the Steelers and Philly always play each other. Like, I feel like every year they always play each other, even though they're in different conferences. And I feel like it's always a good game. And for some reason, I think the Steelers have been winning recently. And honestly, I think the Steelers. I don't know. It's in Philly, dude. 4:25 game. It's going to be a really good game. And I think it's going to come down to a field goal. And I think Philly's going to make that field goal.
So, week 16, you play against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, and I think you get swept by Baltimore. I think Baltimore wins this game again, and they win it more convincingly than before. They win it 33-16.
It's gonna be a tough one. Cold game in Baltimore. It's gonna be a classic game, and I think it's gonna go to the Steelers. I think it's gonna be a snowy, icy game. It's just gonna be a run the ball game. It's gonna be another very low scoring game, and I think it's gonna just come down to the Steelers winning that one. They almost always split with the Ravens. It's just gonna be that day that they do.
Week 17, Christmas Day, you play against the Kansas City Chiefs, and you take that L. Kansas City wins 28-17, and it's just one of those situations where the Kansas City offense just outpowers you, and your defense has a respectable game, but whoever is at the helm for a quarterback for you just struggles against Kansas City, and there's not much more to say.
So you said 28-17?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty accurate score. Maybe a little low scoring. Maybe a little more low scoring, like 23-13, 23-10. But yeah, I got Kansas City winning. I think it's just going to be one of those games where just Kansas City's the better team. They're going to just play better. They're going to run the ball better. I think it's going to be a running game. But yeah, just going to be a just better game for Kansas City there. And heading into this final week against Cincinnati.
Week 18, like I said earlier with the Bengals, I feel like it's just one of those points where the Bengals narrowly win. They're going, and they win this game.
Yeah, and I got the Steelers losing this one. Um, tough end of the stretch for them. I got them going on, but I just don't. I mean, when you look at the schedule at the end of the year, I mean, 11-18, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincy, Cleveland, Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincy. That is absolutely brutal. I mean, that's like not a single breather at all. I mean, every single one of those teams has playoff/Super Bowl hopes. Like, I mean, obviously Cleveland and Cincy could change quick. Baltimore, I mean, every team can change quick, but Cincy and Cleveland more so are kind of they're on the lower point of that. But they could all be Super Bowl contenders, and at the end of the year like that is very tough for the Steelers team.
So as far as final record predictions, I had the Steelers going 8-9. And while I see this being completely possible, like breaking down their schedule, that's my prediction as to what they go. They generally will squeeze out that extra game though and go 9-8 or 10-7. But as of right now, I have no choice but to stick with 8-9 for the Steelers.
And I got them being a perfect 500 at 8-1. I mean, they're just that team that you don't ever want to play, but they're also not super consistent, and that's just gonna show throughout the year. And yeah, on to the Cleveland Browns.
So the Browns had an interesting year last year. Obviously, we know about their quarterback carousel and their outstanding defense. So much of what the Browns did this year was just try to maintain that squad. Some notable acquisitions and losses would be the loss of Joe Flacco, the acquisition of Jameis Winston, Tyler Huntley. They also acquired Jerry Jeudy, Jordan Hicks, and Devin Bush. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be I feel like this will be another year where the Browns finish roughly 11-6 before the schedule preview. I think they will be healthier this year, but it's still going to have a similar result. And it's time to go over to Rich.
Yeah, so he's covered the acquisitions and the losses, which there really weren't many losses besides the linebacker crew. No more Taki.
Lost the only Taki.
Yeah, that was just a great piece to have on the team. Just a solid linebacker. It's pretty much a whole new linebacker group besides the younger guys that were already there. The rest of the defense is completely the same, besides obviously rookies drafted. There's a super deep defensive team. Same thing with the offense. Genuinely one of the best rosters in the NFL. Not just because I'm a fan, but I mean, top to bottom, this roster is there's depth everywhere, and everyone knows what it comes down to. Health, obviously number one, but that's for every team. And then the biggest is number 4, Deshaun Watson. Now moving over to their schedule, they start off with the Dallas Cowboys.
So week 1 playing Dallas and Cleveland. As a Browns fan, I feel like this is a game that we drop. I don't think that we win this game. I think it's a defensive dogfight. But the continuity of Dallas's offense kind of helps them here. For the most part, it's been a similar crew, and I feel like because of that, they kind of play a little bit more flawlessly than the Browns' offense. And I think that Dallas wins this game 33-21.
So for this week 1 matchup, I got a hell of a game. I think it's just gonna be a good game. Both sides showing out. Tom Brady there. It's gonna be an awesome game. And I think I got the Brownies winning this one. I'm gonna go like 30-25. Just one of those classic like 30 or high scoring 20 games, and it's gonna be a hell of a game. Hell of a way to start off the year, and a good vibe for us Browns fans.
Week 2, you traveled to Jacksonville to play against the Jaguars, and I feel like this is a game where you just kind of win it pretty convincingly. It's like a 28-10 win for the Browns. The Jaguars really just can't do anything about the Browns' defense, and Cleveland picks up the W here week 2.
For some reason, I kind of just have the Browns stumbling here. it's the start of the year. Teams are gonna you're gonna have weird weeks. Um, I think it's the Browns a game. This is a game the Browns kind of just trip over their feet. Offense doesn't play too well. Maybe a rough Deshaun Watson game, and just a good Jacksonville game. I think it'll be a close game, but I feel like this is a game the Browns just don't play well. They don't show up and they lose this one.
Okay, so this game against New York, week 3, traveling to New Jersey to play against the New York Giants. I feel like the Browns defense just goes crazy, just goes absolutely crazy, and it's kind of similar to the game that the Browns had against the Arizona Cardinals last year. Except I feel like that score won't look quite the same. I think it'll be more like the Browns beat the Giants 17-3. The game's kind of put away the whole time, and they kind of let go of the gas, and the Cleveland Browns win.
So yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same way, but I feel like the Browns put up more than 17. I'm feeling like a really good bounce back week for the Browns. Defense goes crazy, like Brennan said. I feel like the offense has like 2 or 3 of big plays, 40-plus yard plays, maybe both for touchdowns, something like that. Just good bounce back week, and they whoop them 33-10.
Week 4, you travel to Vegas to play against the Raiders. And I feel like this is one of those games where the Raiders quarterbacks just can't handle the Browns defense. And the Browns win 28-13. It's a convincing game. Team looks good. And the dog pound is barking.
All right. This is a huge pick for me. Doesn't seem like a lot. Week 4 against Vegas, the Raiders. But ever since this Browns team took a turn, in that first year we were good. When we did lose to the Raiders. The year after that, we lost to the Raiders. And I think there was another year after that we lost to the Raiders. And I always told myself that the year the Browns beat the Raiders is the year they go all the way. I don't know if this is the year they go all the way or not. I'm very iffy if I want to pick the Browns here. I think it's going to be a really close game, back and forth. And I think I have Vegas winning like 2017.
All right, Rich. Week 5, you travel to Washington to play against the Commanders. And this Browns run just flat out continues. Browns defense goes crazy once again. Deshaun Watson has a great game, and everyone's excited about it. And the Browns win 36-20.
I got a good game for the Browns here. Nothing too crazy, though. I think it's like pretty much clear the Browns are ahead, but I feel like it's going to stay close. And I'm feeling like a 2013 win for the Browns here. Nothing too crazy, simple game.
So, next, Week 6, playing against Philadelphia. I think the Browns kind of struggle. They were due for a struggle, and they dropped this game. The defense has some weird errors that you can't really explain. Your DB room has a off night, and Philadelphia wins this game, and Philadelphia wins this game 33-14.
So I have this as a big win for the Browns here. I feel like it's going to be a tough game, but I feel like the Browns win it convincingly. I'm feeling like a 33-17 game where the defense just... I feel like a lot of sacks here. I feel like maybe we expose some holes in some new guys on the O-line there, and I don't know. I'm just feeling a good game for the Browns, good bounce back, and like 33-17 win.
As I talked about in the Bengals analysis, you know how this goes. Cleveland wins the first matchup against Cincinnati.
Yeah, and not too much to say here either. I had the same prediction for him as him. But, yeah, I feel like the Browns get the win here. They put together 3 of them, and it's just a good classic win against the Bengals.
So you play Baltimore Week 8 in Cleveland. Last year I went to the game against Baltimore. It was Week 4 or 5 or something like that. We got pounded. I feel like there's injuries on this team at this point. Somebody crucial to your offense is injured. And I feel like this is kind of going to be a repeat where we kind of get smacked by the Ravens this game, and we lose 28-13.
So this is when I feel like the Cleveland Browns, get another dub here. Huge game at home. Fans going crazy, and we win a high-scoring one, like 33. Shit, I've been the same score as last year, but like maybe 34-30, 34-28, something high-scoring like that, and the Browns just get a high-scoring W.
All right. Next, we have Week 9 against the Chargers in Cleveland. Historically, we struggle against the Chargers, but I feel like this is just another one of those games where we excel. They're kind of paranoid about that Baltimore game they just had, and like we have to bounce back, and they do it convincingly. They win 33-17.
So I'm predicting a Browns W here. Like Brian said, we usually do struggle against the Chargers. Kind of same thing with the Raiders. I feel like we always play them and we always lose. But I am going to go with the Brownies dubbing right before the bye week. I feel like this is going to be kind of like a 27-13 game, 24-14, kind of low scoring and kind of a boring game, but Browns pull it out.
As Rich said, your bye week is Week 10, and then Week 11 you play against the Saints. Saints offense struggles. They struggle. Cleveland pulls this one out. They don't really have a convincing perform. They don't have like a offensive like where the offense just shows out, but they still win. They win 21-13. You know, it's just really one of those random like filler games of the year.
So I feel like there's going to be a lot of hype. Browns are doing good off this bye week, and I kind of see them falling on their face here in New Orleans. It's not easy to play there. I mean, ever. And I'm feeling like almost the opposite score of Brennan. I feel like Saints put up 21, Browns put up 14. Just a tough loss coming off, and we just don't get anything going.
All right. Next, we have the Browns facing off against the Steelers in Cleveland. Kind of like I said with this Steelers analysis, I think that the Browns win this game.
So this is obviously sticking with the Steelers analysis. Steelers win. I feel like the Browns lose back-to-back here, getting into a scary area. But, yeah, it's just that game against Pittsburgh Thursday night. It's going to be tough. Even though it is in Cleveland, I see the Brownies losing this one. Breaking basement news sports talk here live at 6:39 p.m. Eastern Time, August 14th. Breaking. Patriots are trading Matthew Judon to the Falcons per Schultz report. That's a huge trade. If we'd known that before the rankings, probably given the Falcons an extra win there. But that is breaking news coming live.
Damn. This is why we play this game. And now we have a game against the Denver Broncos, your 13th week. It's at Denver. Cleveland, you win. Let's go. Brownies are up. Defense shows out. You don't lose to the Denver like you did last year. You win convincingly. You win 28-10.
I am feeling a good bounce back. It's a Monday night game on ESPN. Pretty weird Monday night game. I don't know. Really don't know why it's a Monday night game at all. Yeah, weird script writing. Maybe some crazy shit. The Jerry Jeudy revenge game. 300 yards for Jerry Jeudy. But, I'm guessing like a 27-13 dub for the Browns. Nothing. Just light work.
Week 14 against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Similar to my Steelers analysis, you drop this. You don't win in Pittsburgh, Cleveland. And I mean, I'm Cleveland, but you don't win in Pittsburgh.
This is when the Brownies get their W in Pittsburgh. Huge game. Just great vibes. And this is when I feel like we're going to have a Deshaun Watson game where it's going to be, we're getting towards the end of the year. We have a good record, and we really need just a showing. We need a game that's gonna really show it. And we go into Pittsburgh. We win like a close game, 27-24. Deshaun Watson like game-winning drive. Cleveland's going nutty. On to Week 15.
Week 15, you play number 15. Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm most likely in attendance. I'm screaming. I'm ready. I'm cold. But we lose. We unfortunately lose. And it's a respectable game for the Browns. And you lose 33-24.
This is a huge game. Week 15, December 15th, against 15. Huge implications everywhere. The Browns win. The Browns win. 31-27. Insane game. This may be my delusion. Probably is my delusion. Huge W on Week 15 against 15.
Man, oh man, Rich, I hope you're right. Week 16 at Cincinnati. Similar to my Bengals analysis, we lose this one. Cleveland, we lose. Damn it.
I got the Brownies winning. They're rolling. Thursday night. Go into Cincy. And I'm thinking like crazy low scoring. 13-10 type of game. Weird game. It could be absolutely a snowstorm. But it's a low scoring Browns dub.
All right. Week 17. Those damn Miami Dolphins come into Cleveland to play against the Brownies. And they can't handle that cold. They can't handle that cold at all. And the Browns win. The Browns have a statement. The second to last game of the year here. And they win this game 36-28.
Well, yeah, it's a classic. Miami can't play in Cleveland. It's not going to happen. It's going to be December 29th. They're going to be shivering. It's going to be like 27-3. The Browns just whoop them. It's an absolute whooping on Sunday Night Football. It's a disgrace to Miami Dolphins fans. On to the last week.
Cleveland, we show out. We show out against the Baltimore Ravens, Week 18. We split the series against the Ravens. Everything that went wrong in that first game, we correct. And we correct it big. The Browns win. It's a repeat from last year. It's crazy. It's deja vu. The Browns win 34-33.
I have the Browns losing. It's going to be a rough end of the year game. I think this is going to be like who maybe could be a 1 seed, 2 seed, something like that. Obviously, you're going to have division implications. It's going to be crazy. And I think the Browns are going to lose, though. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Ravens are just going to win. And it's going to be a heartbreaker for Browns fans, but that's how it's going to be.
So after tallying it all up, just as the fairy tale was written, the Browns go 11-6. They go 11-6.
12-5 for the Cleveland Browns. It's going to be a great year. Simple as that. A phenomenal year.
All right, Basement Sports Talk fans. We are down to the Baltimore Ravens. Some notable losses and acquisitions would be the loss of Gus Edwards, the loss of J.K. Dobbins, the loss of Patrick Queen, the loss of Geno Stone, and the acquisition of Derrick Henry.
These Baltimore Ravens, they're always nice. We know their acquisitions, not many, but impactful. Geno Smith was like always a solid guy. Geno Stone just turned up last year, and obviously they got the Derrick Henry. Kind of forgetting their other moves this offseason. Lost J.K. Down, yeah, that's not really anything. Whatever, they're fine. And yeah, this team's looking to attack. Obviously, looking for Super Bowl off of MVPs.
Lost Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, lost a huge guy in OBJ. No, but seriously though, I mean, they're looking for a Super Bowl. They picked up Derrick Henry, and it's gonna be very interesting to see how a superstar running back intertwines with Lamar this year. And with that, we shall go on to the schedule.
Week 1 against Kansas City. It's a L. It's kind of a repeat of the playoff game. just some crucial mistakes by Lamar Jackson, some interceptions thrown that are costly, and they lose 33-28.
I have a Ravens W September 5th, the Thursday. I just got the Ravens going in. Not whooping them at all, but they're like winning a decently convincing game. I feel like the first games of the year are never good games. One team always wins pretty convincingly, and yeah, I pretty much just feel like it's gonna be the same thing, but that the Ravens did to, I mean, that the Lions did to the Chiefs last year in Week 1.
So against Las Vegas, week 2 in Baltimore, they end up picking this W up. They win 28-16. Offense looks good, defense looks good, and it really feels like just a rebound from that Kansas City game, and they're happy about it.
So I have, in a wild upset, the Raiders beating the Ravens. It's just one of those weird games at the start of the year. It happens to almost every single team. They're going to lose a game within those first 5 that they shouldn't have. And this is going to be that game for the Ravens. Just a goofy game. It's like 17-13 on week 3.
All right, Baltimore. You're going to do something that I haven't predicted for the other AFC North teams here. You beat Dallas week 3 in Dallas. And you win. You win 17-14. Like just a really odd game. Defense kind of balls out on both ends. But you are able to gather just enough together for the Ravens offense to be able to win this game.
I have a big W for the Ravens here. I think it's going to be a good, just classic. You're chilling in your living room. You're like, oh, what game's on? Ravens, Cowboys, let's go. And it's just going to be a classic. And I got the Ravens just coming out on top of a barn burner in Dallas. That's going to be an amazing game.
Congratulations, Baltimore, on that one. Your next game is going to be against the Buffalo Bills, week 4. And I feel like this is just going to be one of those games where it's not really about Baltimore's faults, but just the Bills playing well this week. And offensively, Josh Allen is able to work it all out, despite the receiving core, despite a running game that's not really special. James Cook is fine, but not special. And the defense plays well enough for the Bills to win this game. The Bills just kind of figure it out this game in particular, and they win. And they win 28-23.
So I got this being a close one as well. But I have Buffalo winning too. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be one of those games where Buffalo just turns up on this Ravens defense, and I think it's gonna be like 34-17 Buffalo.
All right. So next is week 5 against the Bengals, and ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how hard it is to remember every prediction that you made thus far, but I believe I remember saying that Cincinnati lost this game. So I'm going to have to trail that and say that the Ravens pick up the W here for sure.
I do remember my Cincinnati prediction, and I will definitely stick with it. The Ravens are going to beat Cincinnati in home. In the Cincy home is what I meant.
Wonderful. Week 6, you play against the Commanders, your neighbors, and you whoop ass. You whoop straight ass. And this Ravens team wins. This Ravens team has their highest scoring game of the year, and they win 42 to a measly 16.
I have a weird feeling about this game. I feel like it could be a very, very interesting game. I know that seems crazy to some people to say that, but I don't know why. I got a feeling that Washington's gonna win this in a weird one. Maybe Lamar. Lamar just like he'll get taken out of at least one game a year, and that might be this game. Maybe they lose in the second half, like 17-13 to the Commanders. Just a weird one, at home.
All right. Next, you go to Tampa Bay for Week 7. And you win. You win against Tampa Bay. Derrick Henry and Lamar just have a great game. Ravens defense gives Baker some problems, and they end up pulling the game out, winning 24-13.
So in this one, kind of what Brennan was saying with last week, where they're going to put up their highest scoring points against the Commanders. I feel like just this Monday night game, Tampa Bay against Baltimore in Tampa, it's going to be nice out, October 21st. That perfect football weather, and I see the Baltimore putting up like 40, maybe getting close to 50 on Tampa Bay, and just whooping them.
All right. So similar to my Browns prediction, they travel to Cleveland Week 8 and they whoop some butt. They beat Cleveland Week 8.
So I have a differing opinion here. I have them. Wait, did you have them whipping butt in Cleveland or getting whooped?
Whipping butt in Cleveland.
Oh, okay. So I have a differing opinion here. I have them going to Cleveland and losing. That's a tough one in Cleveland. It's just gonna be a good game. Cleveland comes out on top.
Hope you're right. All right. So this is going to be my crazy, weird prediction here. Week 9 against the Denver Broncos in Baltimore. Somehow the Ravens drop it. And it's just like, what the hell happened? Either Bo Nix, Zach Wilson, or Jared Stidham, they just have a game that you're like, what the hell happened? And it's going to be one of those weird TikTok slideshow games where it's like, remember when Zach Wilson had 400 yards against the Ravens, or remember when Jared Stidham had 400 yards against the Ravens? You're like, what the hell, Bo Nix? I mean, it's just one of those games you're like, whoa, what happened? And the Broncos win 30-14.
Yeah, I just strongly disagree. And every factor of that. Denver's coming into Baltimore. I think whatever their quarterback is, besides if Tom Brady came back and decided to play to Denver, whatever quarterback is in Baltimore that day for the poor Denver Broncos is going to have shit running down his leg. And he's going to have, it's going to be one of those games where it's 23 yards, 2 for 13 completions, and the score is 30-3. I'm expecting a mass murder in Baltimore that day.
So week 10, as long as I'm not getting it messed up, which I hope I'm not. I feel like I remember your Bengals split with the Ravens. The Ravens win against Cincinnati week 10 in Baltimore, and the Ravens get it done. Offense plays well, defense plays well. Kind of similar to what I said back in my Cincinnati prediction.
So, yeah, I'm not going to say too much. Cincy's going to win this one. Thursday night game. It's going to be a classic, but I just think Cincy's going to put up more points than the Ravens that day. It's just going to be kind of what offense is going to play better, and it's going to be the Bengals.
So, week 11 against the Steelers. It's going to be basically, I don't really have anything more to say about that. The Steelers drop both of these games against the Ravens, and Ravens win.
For this one, I have the Ravens going into Pittsburgh and whooping butt. As simple as that. It's just going to be one of those games where Lamar is just going to turn up, and I don't think it's going to be much more than that. The Pittsburgh defense is nasty. They do play the Ravens very, very well, but I just got the Ravens winning this one.
Ravens against Chargers in week 12. I will have the Ravens winning this one. and they're gonna win it 33-18. Chargers just have a rougher day. Um, can't really stop anything the Ravens are doing. The Ravens just have a game where their rush attack is unstoppable.
I pretty much have the same exact feelings as Brennan in this one. It's just gonna be, it's gonna be a nice day in November. It's gonna be in Los Angeles in that dome, and they're just gonna whoop ass. It's just gonna be. I mean, there's still those big playmakers on that defense for the Chargers, but I mean, depending, it's gonna be a little farther in the year. They might be absolutely awful, and I just got the Ravens going in and whooping.
All right. So, looking at the schedule now, I will say it now. I have the Ravens taking their last loss of the year here, and it will be against the Philadelphia Eagles, Week 13. It's gonna be a crazy dogfight, crazy dogfight. It's gonna be a game that like people are talking about the whole year. Like was that the best game of the year? And the Ravens will lose that game 33-31. Nothing necessarily goes wrong. It's just there's maybe an interception thrown at the end of the game or whatever. Eagles get a pick six, and they come out to win that game.
So I pretty much agree with Brennan. Going to be an amazing game December 1st in Baltimore. Should be nice and cold, a good running game, but I got the Ravens winning, and that's going to be a theme for the rest of this video for me.
All right. So yeah, they killed the Giants in Week 15. They killed the Giants 36-13. Not much right goes for the Giants. They have horrible quarterback play. Defense is getting walked in this game in particular, and Ravens take an easy W.
Yeah, not much to say. I mean, Giants towards the end of the year, I mean, it's going to be ugly. It's just going to be one of those games where no one's going to want to watch. It's going to be, Ravens Giants this week. Okay, Ravens win. And simple as that.
All right. Once again, you beat the Steelers Week 16, like I said earlier. Not much to say about that.
Me and Brennan both agreed there. Ravens at home, going to be really fighting for it, and they're going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Christmas Day, you travel to Houston to play against the Texans, and you narrowly win it on Netflix. And it's a game that, Ravens fans are happy about. It was a good win to get. And, yeah, you're happy about it.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas is what Netflix is thinking they're doing. You could be chilling with your girl at 4:30, maybe with the family. But regardless, it's going to be a phenomenal day. It's going to be a phenomenal game in Houston, in a dome. So it's going to be not going to have to worry about the weather, which it would be a fun Christmas game in Baltimore. But I do like automatic high-scoring action there. That's probably going to be game of the year. And I got the Ravens winning it. It's gonna be a close one. It's gonna probably come down to who has the ball last, and it's just gonna be a classic Christmas game for probably years to come. I mean, upcoming C.J. Stroud, Lamar, probably both fighting for damn near first in the AFC at this point, or at least top of the AFC, and it's gonna have crazy hype, and it's gonna be an amazing Christmas gift to every NFL fan.
Kind of messed up when I said the Ravens wouldn't take another loss. I must have messed it up. Obviously, I had the Ravens losing to the Browns, their first matchup of the year. But they won the first matchup of the year, I'm sorry. But this game, Week 18, I believe, is a loss, and the Cleveland Browns win.
This is where I have the Ravens winning again. So I have the Ravens starting off really rough with like a 6-6 record, I think at one point. No, sorry, 6-5 they are, and then I have them winning out for a certain period. I got them beating the Browns. I think it's gonna be a huge game. I mean, might be for the division. I might be crying as a Browns fan if Baltimore wins, but January 5th, I feel like I'm gonna be a sad sad Browns fan that day.
And now for our record predictions. I have the Ravens ending up 13-4.
And I have them as 12-5 and winning their last 7 games of the year.
So unfortunately, I have the Ravens winning the division once again. This is not the year the Browns win the division. But it was a great time ranking this AFC North with you, Rich. And excited for the season to play out. This has been Basement Sports Talk. Rich, do you have any closing remarks?
Yes, I do. Yes, it was a long video. Again, our videos end up being a little longer than we usually think, but put a lot of effort into them, having fun. I'm most excited for when the games start going, and we'll be doing record predictions for every game coming up. That's going to be a really good time. But, yeah, leave some comments below if you're watching. We got a lot more views than anticipated for our first video. We're just having some fun, but we do want to keep making more. And we want some interaction with you guys. Comment some stuff that you'd like. And if you'd like some shorter videos, if you like the longer videos, just comment below. Let us know if we need to make some Twitters or anything. But, yeah, thank you for listening. This has been Basement Sports Talk.
Thank you for the great reception on the first video. Basement Sports Talk out.